Hi boys and girls, I'm back. One more video about math today. So you're going to start with this. It says read the story problem, draw pictures to help you solve the problem, record the addition sentence with 3 addends below. So once you've read the story, you're going to draw what you read about in the story, and then you have to make an adding question. And notice how there's 3 blanks. That's because there are 3 things that the story talks about. So you're going to have to add 3 numbers together to come up with the answer. And Mrs. Card tried to mark the words to help you read. Okay? So pizza, P-I-Z-Z-A, pizza, is my, have you got that word memorized? Favorite. Well, look, an exclamation mark. I add ed, there's ed and wanted, added 6 slices of what? What do you think that is? Pepperoni. Pepperoni. 3 handfuls of cheese and 5 slices of tomato. How many toppings did I add in total? So you're going to have to draw those toppings on your pizza. So what were those toppings again? 6 slices of pepperoni, 3 handfuls of cheese, and 5 slices of tomato. And then that's what you're going to put in your adding sentence down below. Add those numbers together and tell me how many toppings you got all together. Okay, that's how you do that. And then, today on your math paper, you're practicing flip-flops. And if you look really carefully, see that right there? That's 2 arrows going around and around in a circle. And the little word above it is switch, which is the same as doing a flip-flop. So what do they want you to do? It says solve the equation. Change the order of the addends. Remember, that just means the numbers in the adding question. Record the sum. So 6 plus 8. First, we have to figure out what 6 plus 8 is. And there's lots of different ways that you can do it. You could get out some counters. Count 6, count 8, and then add them all together. You could do your touch math, in which case I would start with 8. And then I would do touch math on 6. So it would look like this. 8, I would start with 8 because it's the bigger number. And then I would count on 6. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, that's one way to get the answer. And then the other way that you could do it is the way that we practiced the other day, making 10. So if you start with the bigger number 8 and you think to yourself, friends of 10, what goes with 8 to make 10? Well, if I tap my head and say 8, 8, and count on my fingers, 9, 10, I need 2 more to make 10. See how I did that? Over top of 6. I wrote, I'm borrowing 2 from the 6 that are there to make 10. Now I need to think what goes with 2 to make 6. Well, if I already have 2, how many more do I need to get? 6. Tap my head and say 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I need 4 more. See that, boys and girls? So I know 8 and 2 makes 10. And then I know how to add on a number to 10. 10 plus 4. I'm going to make that 4 land in the ones place in my answer, 14. That was a long way to get to the answer. But that's, Mrs. Carr just wanted to remind you about how we make 10. We know friends of 10 well, and we know how to add numbers to 10. So sometimes it's helpful to do it that way. So there's lots of different ways that you can do it. Now, what's all this switch business about? Oh, first of all, we have to write the answer. So we know 6 plus 8 is 14. Okay, and then what they want you to do is take those addends, 6 and 8, and over here switch them around. So make the 8 come first and the 6 come second. Okay, is the answer going to be the same? Yes, because you didn't add any more blocks or counters. You didn't come up with a different number. You didn't take any away. So the answer is still going to be 14. Do you remember how Mrs. Card calls those twins too? So there's different names for them. You can call them flip-flop equations. You can call them twins. You can say switch equations, I guess. Okay, so let's say those adding questions together, and that will help us remember the answer, and it will help us remember that twins end up with the same answer. It doesn't matter where the numbers that you're adding are in the sentence, whether they're first or second, the answer is still the same. So 6 plus 8 equals 14. If you switch it, 8 plus 6 still equals 14. Okay, now if I took a simple question like 2 plus 3 equals 5, we know that one. See what Mrs. Card did there? I can double check my answer and make sure I got it right. I drew 2 dots and then 3, count the dots, and I should end up with 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got the right answer. Now if I flip-flop this equation or switch the addends, the question would look like this. 3 plus 2 equals 5. See how I switched the numbers? Okay, is the answer still 5? Well, let's double check. Let's draw the dots. So I drew 3 dots first and then 2 dots. Let's count the dots. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, the answer is still 5. So that's a really simple question to show you that the answer is not going to change just because you're putting the numbers in a different order. Okay, does that make sense? So that should make this pretty easy to do. The hard part is going to be trying to figure out the answer. So 7 plus 11, I would tap 11 and count on 7. Or if you want, you can get 7 blocks and 11 blocks and count them all together. Or you can use your making 10, okay, in which case you'd have to use 7 and borrow some from 11 to make 10. Any way that works for you. You know what the best way to do it is? Memorize it. That's why I have you practicing on IXL, because I want you to learn those facts automatically so that you're not having to do all that counting. That's the best thing to do. But until you get there, okay, it's going to take lots of time and lots of practice, which is A-okay. These are different things that Mrs. Card's teaching you. Okay, so I'm going to figure out what 7 plus 11 is, and I'm going to put the answer. Then the middle reminds me to switch the addends. Okay, you're not switching the answer, you're just switching the numbers that you're adding. Okay, so instead of putting 7 first, I'm going to put 11 first, then 7, and then I'm going to write my answer down. Okay, so that's how you do that page. Now this page is a little bit of a game. It's called Roll, Add, Switch. And it says roll 2 dice and fill in the dots. Fill in the equation and solve. Switch the equation switch the equation around. So I need some dice. I'm going to go get my dice. I'll be right back. Oh, I just hurt my foot, boys and girls. But that's okay. I got my dice. See? Okay. So the very first question, I'm going to roll my dice. I can't show you because I'm using my computer. I'm not using my phone. But I'll hold them up to show you what I got. See? I got 5 and 2. So that's what I draw on my dice. Do the pattern that you see. 5 and 2. See that? 5 and 2. Does that match my dice? Let's double check and make sure. Yep, 5 and 2. Whoop. There. Okay, now I take those two numbers and make them the addends in my adding question. So 5 plus 2. See that? What does that equal? 5 and 2 more makes 5. Tap my head. 5, 6, 7. I know that. Then, what does this tell me to do? Switch. What do I switch? The addends. Okay, so instead of putting 5 first, I'm going to put 2 first. 2 plus 5. What does that equal? Still equals 7. The answer doesn't change, does it? Right? Like I'll show you with the dice. 5 and 2 make 7 this way. What if I put them like this? Does it still make 7? Yep. The number of dots didn't change. What if I did 5 and 4? You know what that equals? 5 and 5 is 10, so 5 and 4 is 1 less, which would be 9. What if I switched them around? Would it still be 9? Of course it would be. Okay, so that's what you're doing for math today. I hope you have fun. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to mention, where did I put that? Oh, this, boys and girls. I forgot to mention on when I was practicing Jut and Giant with you today, this is what I want you to do in your special sounds workbook. So I think I actually tried, I did a little bit for you, but you circle the G says Jut and Giant and read the words. Okay? All right, bye-bye. See you next day.